phenomenon, and our phenom of the week is the Matamoros death cult and Adolfo Costanzo. Am I saying that right? Constanzo. And Adolfo Constanzo is nicknamed El Padrino, or the Godfather, and he is the leader of a satanic death cult located in Matamoros, Mexico. Now, let's see. He was born, Adolfo was born in Miami, Florida, November 1st, 1969. He died May 6, 1989, in Mexico City by suicide, which we'll go into further as we go down the biography here. And he was 25 years old at the time of his death, 5 feet 6 inches, and 150 pounds. So a small guy, not a big guy, not intimidating at all. At least not in physical stature. Now, he was known for human sacrifice and torture and sex killings. Now, Adolfo was also bisexual. He had both male and female sexual partners. However, he did prefer male partners. Now, one thing the cult would do is they would stalk their victims and drug them and then sacrifice them. When they were caught with 12 male bodies that was recovered at Rancho Elena, which is where the cult did most of their crimes. Now, they believed that these rituals would protect them. So this was kind of a twofold thing, right? Would make them, one, bulletproof, and two, impervious to the cops. So they believed that these ritual protections would protect them from law enforcement catching them. They had 16 confirmed victims and 26 suspected victims. However, I suspect there's many, many, many more than just 26. Now, these crimes took place between 1986 and 1989. Main victim being Mark Kilroy, and he got the U.S. officials' attention because I believe it was his uncle was a U.S. Customs agent. All right, so like I said, the operation was ran out of Rancho Santa Elena. Adolfo led the cult with Sarah Aldrete, La Madrina, or the witch. They called her the witch, La Madrina, the godmother, and so on. Now, Adolfo was a son of a Cuban immigrant to the United States, and his mother was 15 years old when she had Adolfo. She went on to have 3 kids from 3 different fathers. His mother, Delia, moved the family to San Juan, Puerto Rico, where Alfonso was baptized Catholic. He was actually, believe it or not, Adolfo was an altar boy, which is kind of ironic once you kind of get into more in depth. This is just a very brief biography we're going to do here. We're going to get much, 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 much more in depth because there's a lot more to talk about here. There's a lot going on, and I'm just scratching the surface at the moment, okay? Now, son of Cuban immigrant, 15-year-old mother, moved to Puerto Rico, baptized Catholic, but his mother would take him on trips to Haiti where he would learn voodoo. Now, this may seem contradictory. How can you be a Catholic altar boy and a voodoo practitioner? Well, if you know anything about the kind of Central, South American, and Mexico, kind of Caribbean, that whole southern area, there's a mixture of Catholic and pagan worship. One form is called Santeria, Voodoo, Hoodoo, Brujeria. I can't say that right, but it's basically black magic and witchcraft, right? Now, the particular form that he practiced was called Palo Mayembe, which I'm going to do a whole episode alone on Palo Mayembe. Now, if you look here, you'll see Inganga, which is also a cauldron. They actually found the brain of his victim, his last victim, Mr. Kilroy, Mark Kilroy, in this particular cauldron. I'll get a little bit more into that as we go further down. I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself here. Anyway, so his family had returned back to Miami in 1972 after his stepfather died, leaving the family a little bit of money. Now, as a teenager, Adolfo was an apprentice of a local sorcerer in Palo Mayombe, which involved animal sacrifice mainly, right? So his mother remarried another man. This mother, she's something else. Remarried another man who combined Palo Mayombe and drug dealing, combined the two together. And Alfonso and his mother were arrested together several times for theft, vandalism, shoplifting, things like that. And they're arrested over 30 times. And it said that the neighbors were terrified of them, and they would constantly move from one place to another, and they'd leave a blood-stained apartment where where they had to come in and clean it up. And if anybody said anything bad to them, they would actually leave like a chicken head on their front porch or something like that, different animal parts on the porches of these people. And it's terrifying because people in that area, they know exactly what that means. If you know anything about the occult, that's something that they do as kind of a threatening warning, right? Like either shut up or I'll make you shut up type of deal. I can't even imagine. Let's pause for a second. Just think about being raised with a mother, 15 years older than you. So basically almost like an older sibling. And she's involved in all this dark ritual magic, marries all these guys. She's almost like a black widow. So part of me wonders, did she kill some of her husbands? Because, the thing she encouraged in her son is just bizarre. Who wants death and ritual sacrifice for their children? But that's one thing when you start getting into the occult and Satanism, Palo Mayombe, Santeria, all these different things, these are generational things. So these aren't things that people just think up one day, okay, I think I'll get into Palo Mayombe. Now, these are things that are generational. So as far as the generational stuff goes, they're really into it, I guess is what I'm saying. And it's prevalent in the Hispanic community, whether that be Mexico, South America, Central America. It's prevalent, mixed with Catholic theology, the saint worship and stuff like that. Now, Costanzo did graduate high school, but he was expelled from junior college. Okay, so he at least got his basic education. Now, as an adult, Alfonso moves to Mexico City, where he meets his future followers. Now, Martin Quintana is his, I don't want to say boyfriend, his lover. Martin Quintana is his lover. Jorge Montes and Omar Orea, and they started a business together, casting spells for good luck. Right? That's how it started. They would sacrifice animals, ritual sacrifice animals, chickens, goats, snakes, zebras, and lion cubs. And they ranged anywhere from, say $100, $150 for a chicken, all the way up to $3,000 for a lion cub. And one thing about Alfonso Costanzo, is he's really big into putting on this big presentation. Now, there's some people out there that believe that this was all just kind of an act to show, just to make money. But I'd beg to differ. I think he really believed that his clients got something out of this. I think that he believed he got something out of this. And you'll see as we go further on with the shielding and all that, how they actually believe that they are impervious to bullets. It's just bizarre. And part of me, I come from a Judeo-Christian background, right? So, I have certain beliefs that I carry with me that inform my worldview. And I don't believe I'm impervious to bullets and so on and so forth. But, these guys also have a worldview that informs every decision of their life. And part of me wonders, nobody goes into a religion of some sort or any type of belief system without getting something out of it. Now, I must imagine, at least from my personal point of view, I do believe there are dark spirits, demons, entities, whatever you want to call them. I would say they're more of the demonic end of the spectrum. And I do believe that they can do things to help you make things happen. However, in my opinion, God is ultimately in charge of the whole show, so they can only go up to a point. Now, regardless, these guys have given themselves over to the cult. Now, excuse me, just getting over COVID, so got a bit of a cough, but many of the clients were drug dealers and sicarios, which are hitmen or assassins, however you want to call it, that lived, in this kind of violent culture, and they loved the violence of the ritual sacrifice. Now, he also had other clients that were the wealthy elite in Mexico City, which turned the group on to cartels, corrupt police, as well as local officials. So part of me wonders, okay, how far did this actually go up? How far did they actually take it up the chain? As we do know that the different officials in Mexico, as high as the president, were involved in narco trafficking. I mean, it's no secret. It's something that's very open. They say they're not, but I mean, come on. We all know that they are. Now, his cult eventually becomes associated with the Gulf Cartel. Now, because at this time, Costanzo begins to raid graveyards for human bones so he can put it in his inganga, or cauldron, right? Now, he decided that the dead spirits in his inganga would be stronger with human sacrifice instead of these old bones he's collecting from these graveyards. So if you look here, you can see, sticks, bones, different things that are in here. Like I said, they actually found Mark Kilroy's brain in there, as well as some vertebrae, which we'll go on a little bit further into the story about the vertebrae. But so he makes a decision that if you want to get a stronger, more powerful spirit, you need to do human sacrifice. Okay, so he gets the living people, and he decides we're going to go ahead and start sacrificing people as opposed to just animals. Now, this resulted in multiple victims and mutilated corpses around Mexico City. So this just leads me to believe that a lot of his stuff, as well as others, right? He's not the only one doing this in Mexico, as well as all of Latin America. So I guarantee that he's got more bodies out there that are being mixed in with cartels and so on. Now, after pressure arose from the Mark Kilroy killing, the cult had to flee to Mexico City from the ranch. Police were called out for some unrelated reasons. They started feeling the heat. And, basically they went to go arrest him. And this is where he commits suicide by having one of the other cult members kill him rather than face prison. Now, his cult members, as well as him, all believed that he would be resurrected. And they actually said that to the police, like, won't be long now before he's resurrected. So he's dead now, but he won't be for much longer. Now, there were a total of 14 cult members that were arrested and charged, including La Madrina, or Sarah Alderete. Now, Sarah and the others were convicted of several murders and sentenced to 60 years in prison. A couple of the other people got 30 years and so on. But in the event that they are let out of prison, the United States is actually standing by to arrest these people and throw them into prison for however long it takes. Now, Matamoros, just for geography's sake, it's a border town across from Brownsville, Texas, kind of a college student hangout area. Now, if you look in here, there's 28 sticks that go in this cauldron, and those the sticks are supposedly used to communicate with spirits. Now, disgusting as it may be, they found Mark's brain in that cauldron. Now, in 1983, Adolfo had chosen his patron saint, which is Caballende. Sorry, these are hard to pronounce. Which is the god of disease and death, which is essentially Satan in Palomayambe. And he's apparently a very, very powerful spirit. Now, Adolfo had actually carved sigils into his skin. Now, they have different types of sigils, which you'll actually see on the thumbnail here. You'll see the sigils that go with these particular demons. I'd call them demons, but demigods, whatever you want to call them. Right? They have different sigils, and he would carve the sigils for this Cabayende. There we go. Cabayende. He would carve Cabayende sigils into his skin. Now, like I said before, Adolfo had a man and a woman relationship. He actually kind of dated La Madrina, which, yeah, I mean, he had sexual relations with her, but he was more into this guy Quintana. Now, he would also perform ritual cleansings to get rid of spirits. His journals record that he had 31 regular clients paying up to $4,500 per ceremony. Now, they believed they were completely invincible and could not be touched by bullets or knives or any type of harm. So they just basically believed they were impervious. And so essentially what gets them caught is one of their guys actually runs a police checkpoint because he thinks he's invisible to the police, which turns out he's not invisible to the police. The police hunt him down. They start questioning him. They go out to this ranch where he was believed to be. They find a ranch worker, said, "Hey, have you seen, a picture of Mark Kilroy?" He says yes. He had given him food and water a couple days before, and this rancher was absolutely terrified of the cult. So he basically just spilled the beans, right, and said, "Hey, there's a bunch of bodies buried over here. Here's what they're doing. I'm terrified. They're going to kill me. You need to get me out of here," type of deal. And he eventually spilled the beans on all of them, which is what got them arrested and chased down and so forth, right? Now, interesting thing is they had one particular person that paid over $40,000 for services over 3 years. And it makes you wonder, who was it? That's something I'm going to be looking into. Who was it that paid $40,000 over 3 years? And for what? And why did he keep coming back? Obviously, at least based on the culture, these people do have the background in brujeria and black magic in Santeria, so this is nothing new to them. They must be getting something from Constanzo. Something might be working, or maybe things are going their way. Who knows, right? Now, one thing that Constanzo would do is he would actually show his converts the movie The Believers, starring Martin Sheen. If you know anything about that movie, it's about a Palo Mayombe priest. And the Palo Mayombe priest basically asked for one human sacrifice for each of his believers, and he would reward them tenfold. And there's basically a group of elites in New York City. Martin Sheen is a doctor, just very, wealthy, famous doctor, as well as all the other people that are in his community. So why that's so important, I'm not sure. But it's definitely something that was important to them, and they showed it to every convert, everyone that came through. Now, they would have the new converts actually make necklaces of human vertebrae for protection. Totally bizarre, right? Human vertebrae for protection. Now, they would use sticks and bones, and they said that they would communicate with the spirits through these sticks. And I'm actually going to be doing a video on Palo Mayombe, so I'll get more into how that actually works. And like I said, I am just scratching the surface, just doing an introductory video here. Now, most of their victims were drug dealers, vagrants, and addicts. Where it really turned a corner for them is when they killed Mark Kilroy. All right, so Mark Kilroy having connections, got them to get moving. Now, apparently there was over 60 missing people in that year just in Matamoros alone. 60. Now, finally, they got to somebody that was, a little bit more connected, and they were able to kind of, get the pressure on him. Now, the whole reason that they even got Kilroy was because Constanzo didn't believe his last victim had suffered enough. which led to the eventual murder of Mark Kilroy. He's 21 years old, University of Texas student. And it turns out Kilroy was actually killed with a machete, and his legs and brain and spine were removed. Now, like I said before, they found vertebrae, they found his brain, bones, all kinds of things in his cauldron. I've got a bunch of pictures that I'm going to be posting over as thumbnails, as well as showing in different videos. But I wanted to put out this introduction so at least people could get some idea of what's going on with our newest case. What do you think about it? What do you want to know about this case? Let me know below down in the comments. What do you want to know? What do you want me to cover? This is in the height of the Satanic Panic period, right? And I happen to believe that there was something to satanic crime in the 80s and 90s. And even today, I think there still is a lot of that going on, human sacrifice, etc. And you're going to find a lot of proof in here of several sacrifices, because I'm going to cover more than just Matamoros. I'm going to cover some of the peripheral cases. Like, for example, there's a local prostitute that was known for drinking blood in the caves and practicing human sacrifice. Now, one of the I don't even know if I want to say this. One of the things Adolfo Costanzo does is right out of the Aleister Crowley playbook. If you know anything about Aleister Crowley, he believed that you get the most power from sacrificing and ritually sodomizing young men. And there's an interesting thing going on right now called the Smiley Face Killers. It's actually being covered by Gannon and Duarte, Detectives Gannon and Detective Duarte, which are in the New York Police Department. And they actually wrote a book on the Smiley Face Killers, which has very, very strange and eerie similarities to the Matamoros cult. Now, one thing that signifies the Smiley Face Killers is a lot of places where the bodies are being found are smiley faces. Now, they're all young, attractive, educated, physically fit men that are either drowning or have just really bizarre circumstances around their death. Now, some of them are homosexual, not all of them are. But that seems to be something that's prevalent within this this particular case study. And it's very, very similar to what we're dealing with here, as well as Aleister Crowley. Now, the occult definitely is the driving factor in these cases. So, like I said before, write down in the comments below. Let me know, what do you want to know about this? Do you want to know more about Alfonso? Do you want to know more directly about their specific cult and the murders? Do you want to know more about the linkage between all the different killings in the areas? Or would you like to know more about the Satanic Panic crimes that actually got the community, the whole United States, into panic, as well as Mexico and South America, Central America, and so forth? So let me know down in the comments what you would like to know more about. I'll have a couple more episodes coming very shortly on this one. I have probably my last Mark DeWitt story coming up. Boy, that guy's a piece of work. And then I have another Luca Magnotta, and then I have a couple more for Scott Peterson. So please do me a favor, if you get the opportunity, take a look at those videos. Please like, share, subscribe, and dying to see your comments below. I love the comments. I don't care if they're good, bad, or indifferent. I like to know what you're thinking. Some people left a couple negative comments on my DeWitt video. And obviously there's a lot more good. However, I do appreciate it because I like the feedback. And I know that what I'm covering here is not going to be for everybody. But the people that are staying and checking out the information, I do appreciate it. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. This is Josh with True Crime Phenomenon with our Phenom of the Week, the Matamoros cult, Adolfo Costanzo. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment below. I will talk to you all soon.